Hello, everyone. I am Lynn, Dream Girl Writer, coming to you with my December message, my December newsletter. And I wanted to share with you, it is still actually late November as I create this video, but I wanted to do it today because I've just had kind of a 24-hour epiphany experience, if you will. And I have come to a new realization uh, about love and about myself and opening up my heart to more love. I feel like over the last 2 years, as I have been doing these videos and audios for my work as an agent of grace in the business of love, I feel like all of them have been about love, and that's mainly what I speak of and what I wish to bring forth in any way, shape, and form that I can into this world is that we are all here to love and be loved. That is the only reason we exist. And it is also the way that we come to the greatest realizations about ourselves is through the difficulties of love, through the challenges that love brings us, through non-love that we experience with others through our conflicts and through our separation or feelings of separation. And so, to bring it back to earth, to a practical matter, yesterday and the early afternoon, I had just spent a day, I just spent the morning and the hours before this experience walking in nature and just really reveling in the glories around me in this place I live, Cambria, California, and just being so grateful to be alive and to be able to partake of the wonderful nature around me in this place. And I was waiting for a friend on the street in front of my home, and a person came up to me whom I have been separated from for many years and with whom I have not spoken in about 7 years or so, 7.5 years. And he came up to me standing on the sidewalk, and we had a chat, conversation, very casual conversation, considering the fact that we were intimate at one period in time and considering the fact that I have stayed devoted to being together with him in love. And I was happy to speak to him and happy to see him up close and personal after such a long time. And yet at the same time, I knew he was withholding his love from me. And when I asked at the end of the conversation if I could have a hug, he said no, and he went upon his way. And so it caused me some concern, um, some real angst, I should say. And I took it to heart and, realized that I was in a whole different place that he was, and that I felt great compassion for the fact that he was unable to receive my love and unable to be comfortable with me and unable to share his love or any more than just casual conversation with me. And yet at the same time, I had to feel for myself of being mm, just left at a loss. And so I, went about my afternoon and evening and talked to my friend about it, who was a lovely woman that I cherish. in my life. And she was able to, show me compassion for it and able to allow me to speak about my feelings. And it got to evening time, and I mused upon it some more and sat outside in the evening, and then went to bed fairly early with after a bath, and still having had a few tears about it, but still really wanting to get to more clarity on it, to like, why has this happened? Why have I stayed so long devoted to um, the love of this person, to being together with him, to clearing the conflict that keeps us apart, and yet only to come so many years after we first met and found this love together, to come to this place where I'm treated as if I'm nothing more than a stranger on the street, and nothing more to him than just another person on the planet. And so I went to sleep and had a dream that was actually about another um, very important person in my life who I consider a mentor and who I admire greatly. And when I got up to unpack the dream, or actually, before I even got up, I was just musing about the dream, and I hear this loud alarm outside. And it's like the police are right outside my door. And it's it's hugely loud. So I get up to go look. The street is all dark, and I realize it's across the street, and it's some kind of alarm that's going off inside a building, and there's commercial buildings around where I live. So I'm presuming that it's just an alarm that got triggered by something or someone. I called 911 after a few moments when it still continues to go on because I feel like I should report it. And the operator says, yes, it has been reported, and there is a dispatcher, or there is help on the way to figure it out and to turn it off. And just a few minutes later, it goes off. Well, what that triggered for me was that this, because I believe that in our lives, as sometimes disparate as things seem, or sometimes it seems like we're bouncing all over the place, in love one minute, in conflict another minute, or being in kind of an upheaval or a whirlwind or a roller coaster of emotions during our day, I still believe that even in days like that, that there are such beautiful connections that if we'd only just pause and breathe them in and consider them and muse upon them and contemplate how they have triggered certain things in us and what those things mean to us and how we can connect them all. Well, this experience that I had with this person being very moving to me and triggering to me, to go to that with an evening of feeling like I was still not getting the clarity of it, to go into sleep um, feeling like there was something more to come, to have a dream with a mentor of mine kind of coming to me and presenting himself to me as some kind of a sign, and then to wake up from that dream with an alarm basically going off in the background to the extent where I felt like I had to call 911. All of those things could seem very disparate or very disconnected or very unsettling in general to someone else. But for me, what it did was it just brought everything together in complete clarity. And this morning, I journaled my dream last night and stayed up for a while with a cup of tea and musing upon the events of the day. And then when I went back to sleep, I slept for a few hours before I got up the second time, wrote down more about the dream, sat outside with my coffee, and observed the way the birds were coming and going around me and the nature, the town waking up around me. And with all of that, I was able to come to a a message for me that I am in love, I am surrounded by love, and that every experience that I have is bringing me more love because there is never any way to be out of love. And that person who kind of turned his back on me, who kind of refused to engage with me in a loving manner, in other words, showed me non love, was the perfect segue into me learning how to open my heart to more love for myself and to him, to have more compassion for him because of the horrible state in which he must be in order to face a woman like me who loves him dearly and wants nothing more than to share that love with him and to actually turn away from that. And how horrible that is, and how much compassion I have for that. And to give me a very definite example of where I do not wish to be. And, I can muse upon his reasons for that. I can understand his reasons for that. Knowing him as I do, I can certainly see where he has come to that state in his life, where he can completely shut out the love that's waiting there, just right in front of him, shining with all her glory. And I can leave that with him. I can leave him be. I can turn away from that and know that within me, within him, within all of us, is an eternal flame that will never go out, is an eternal heartbeat that beats for us all, that connects us all, and that every little thing on this planet is connected in love with and for us all. So, in the month of December, which, bringing Christmas and the holidays and family gatherings, what I wish for you is to know more love. What I wish for you is to know that you are loved at all times, regardless of what is happening. What I wish for you, your greatest Christmas present this year, is for you to be able to return all non love with love, for you to be able to stand in the face of denial and avoidance and maybe even disgrace, and to hold yourself aloft with love, to hold that flame, to keep that flame in your heart burning brightly, to show all, to give a model to all, to illuminate all darkness around you, metaphorically as well as literally. That's what I wish for you for the month of December 2025. May you practice facing down the darkness. May you practice facing down your fears and others' fears that are expressed to you. May you stand tall and regal in your sovereignty of love. Thank you for listening. I wish you love. Please share it with as many as you can. And thank you for being interested in love. Bye for now.